Good afternoon. Happy eclipse day. Oh, there's one of our neighbor cats. Not ours. I've sometimes found this one sitting on our front step, like he thinks he owns our house, though. We had about a 41% max here. That was right around half an hour ago, about 1 o'clock. So it's still going on right now, but it's, of course, advancing. Nothing you would notice with the naked eye, although towards the peak, there was a different quality to the light, I felt, and even a little cooler. So kind of like what you get when there's a forest fire and there's smoke in the air from up north. But we were nowhere close to totality here, of course, too far west. It's very annoying because back in 1979, there was a total eclipse that came over southeastern Saskatchewan. You know, once in a lifetime opportunity over your house, except I was at university in Arkansas. Missed it. So this year, here I am in Saskatchewan, and there's a total eclipse, and guess where the totality passed over? Right where my school was in Arkansas. So I just missed it twice. It's very inconsiderate of the moon, if you ask me, not to come right over my head. Now, my wife happens to be in Ontario, and she was there to see the total eclipse. So, lucky her. But not I. However, I got a pretty good view of it with a little spotter scope and on a piece of white paper. You can see a little white cookie with the bite taken out of it. I've seen many partial eclipses over the years, but haven't seen a total one. Probably not going to. And whatever my remaining natural lifespan is. Now, if I get my robot body and my consciousness uploaded into it, well then, I'll see lots, I'm sure, over the next centuries. Anyway, headed downtown just to get a change of scenery on my walk, working. Today is Kickstarter Eve, much more important to me than partial eclipse day. Tomorrow is when I launch the Kickstarter for Shapers of Worlds Volume 5, my new anthology featuring authors who were guests during the 5th year and a bit of my podcast, The World Shapers. You can go to tinyurl.com/Shapers of Worlds 5, numeral 5, and see the pre-launch page. And if you follow it, you'll get notified tomorrow when I click the launch button about noon my time, which will be about 2 o'clock Eastern. 1 o'clock Pacific? No, 11 o'clock Pacific. Aiming to raise 12,000, but I actually need a lot more than that. That's what I set the goal at. So if I get the absolute minimum, I'll still go ahead. But that is the absolute minimum. I really need quite a bit more than that to really cover all the expenses. So I'm hoping that it will overshoot the mark, as it has last year. It's always done about 15,000, 16,000 Canadian. I'd love to see it do more this year, but we'll see. It could fail this year. You never know. Hope not. Anyway, launches tomorrow. Lots of great backers rewards like ebook packages and autographed print books and opportunities to chat with authors and mentorships and editing packages and all sorts of cool stuff, audiobooks. So be watching for that launch tomorrow. And actually, once I get where I'm going, that's what I'll be working on, is polishing it up so it's all ready to launch tomorrow. There's a few corrections to make and a couple of additional rewards I want to add. It's been approved by Kickstarter, so I can launch it whenever my little heart desires. Pretty nice day today. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Black Cad. Well, That's helpful, but it doesn't count. It doesn't count toward the Kickstarter goal. I mean, it has to go through Kickstarter before so it counts for my total. But the donation is welcome because everything goes to the same place, which is me trying to keep a publishing company going. Let's go up college today. The other thing I've done is set up a Substack. It's going to replace my old MailChimp newsletter for Edward Willett. So if you go to edwardwillett.substack.com, you'll find it. I've actually imported a lot of my old newsletters there, and I'll start posting regularly. Free subscription gets all my writing news and everything. I will have a paid subscription where I'll probably be doing fiction and, musings about writing and other stuff like that. I have a lot of short stories that I figure I will put up there over time, and maybe start writing something that's only on Substack, kind of a work in progress. Well, there's actually one I'm working on, not what I'm working on right now, but another one that I really like, but somehow I never finish it. And so I might start writing it on Substack. We'll see. Well, I'll definitely do that. Thank you. I can pretty much guarantee I will have a beer at some point, possibly in the next 20 minutes when I get to the hotel. I am grateful for the support. Let's go down the alley, just because I never go down this alley. Not that it's an attractive alley, but at least it's different. See, this is one at the front. It's like this house, but at the back it has this big parking area, and I don't know what's up there, some sort of boardroom or something added onto the old house from the front. That's where the Regina Symphony Orchestra offices are. So we take another alley. Yeah, sure, this one we can walk down the alley straight towards City Hall. Not the prettiest time of year, because after the snow melts, there's a lot of garbage and stuff left lying around. But, it's still part of Regina. Even this will look better come spring, once it turns green. Won't look quite so run down. For our private parking, it says behind that. Looks like a house, but maybe it's not. I always look for ways in between the houses, but it has to be an actual sidewalk. I don't want to wander where I'm not supposed to. Okay, well, we'll leave the alley here. That view of City Hall rising at the end. Go this way. Up here is Fireside Bistro on the next corner. That's where I ate supper just the other night. What night was that? Saturday night, I guess. Looks like their deck is open. It's a little cool, but still certainly pleasant enough for some deck enjoyment. See, bucket season is back at Fireside Bistro. Bucket of Corona. 5 ice cold Corona served in a bucket. It's a pretty good restaurant. I like their food. They're not cheap, but they're good. Excuse me. Street sweeping, which I've mentioned. See those orange signs on the trees? That's a sign that street sweeping is going to happen. So soon the dust will be somewhat alleviated. I'm not wearing sunglasses today, but it's not very windy, so hopefully I keep the sun out of my eyes. I've been in that house. It was also kind of a home office, but they lived there. I have no idea if the people that I met still live there, though. Let's go by the orange apartment building. Sorry, I had to wait till I was across the street. There are, I don't usually go to them. Regina Folk Festival is the big one, outdoor festival. There's something called Rock the Lake over around Boscana Lake. We don't have an outdoor play festival here. I'll go this way just because I like the courtyard of this building. Up in Saskatchewan, they have Shakespeare on the Saskatchewan, which is Shakespeare it's a tent, a permanent tent. I think it's still a tent in the riverbank. There's other outdoor events, the festivals in the park. I'm just not much of a sit outside at a concert kind of guy. That's the Prince Charles up there, which I keep thinking they should rename the King Charles, but they haven't. I remember when that house was still a house, but now it's a hair salon on that corner. Looking for a place to rent. There's some available in this very white building. Bachelor in 1 bedroom. Farmers market will kick in again in May. Outdoor farmers market. And they have other things in downtown in Victoria Park over the summer, but we're not really plugged into that. Oh, let's take this alley. There's that Central Park over there, so we can go straight up Scarth Street from here, which will take us to the hotel, of course. This corner here, just a lot at the moment, is where they're building Ronald McDonald House, where parents of children who are undergoing treatment have a place to stay while their children are at the hospital, which is not far. It's about 3 or 4 blocks that way, General Hospital. So interested to see. A long time ago, there was a house there that had become a restaurant, which was quite popular. Then it went away. It was torn down. For a long time, there was a sign there that said they were going to build sort of little tiny condos. That's the hotel directly ahead of us, of course. That never happened. And then now they say it's going to be Ronald McDonald House. So we'll see if that actually gets built. Probably will that. I'm sure it has a major sponsorship behind it. In a way, alleys are more interesting than the regular streets. I don't know why that is. It just seems like it. More character, I guess. Yes, the Mosaic Stadium seats about 38,000. That's home of the Saskatchewan Roughriders of the Canadian Football League. Pretty new. Built just a few years ago. Before that, it was Taylor Field, which was a very old kind of place. Been there forever. Now it's been torn down, and we have the new one. We have season tickets, so we're there at all home games that we're in town for. And they've had, well, actually in Taylor Field, before they built the new one, I saw Paul McCartney. They've had, that level of stadium act occasionally. The Rolling Stones played the old Taylor Field. I, of course, was out of town, sort of like me in the eclipse. Wrong place at the wrong time. My wife got to go, but I didn't. Cool. Yeah, my wife was in somewhere around there. Watched the eclipse. She had to be in Ottawa for an engineering thing, and she and her old university friend who lives there made a trip today to get into the path of totality. As I said, about 41% here was our max. Noticeable. You could tell the quality of light was a little different. But I had a little spotter scope that I was able to use on a white background to get a pretty good view of it safely. People are funny. It's like, oh, eclipses are deadly. Well, no. The only reason it's dangerous is because total eclipse. You can look at a total eclipse when it's at totality completely safely, as long as none of the sun is showing. If the sun's showing, oh yeah, don't look at it. Duh. People talk about it sometimes like they think it puts out weird radiation, but no, it's just sunlight. It's the back of the Saskatchewan building there, and the Blessed Sacrament Catholic Church. And we're almost there. I'll stop up here. I don't usually come up the side on these walks, so this has been a little different. Pretty sky, just fluffy clouds, and they held off during our little bit of the eclipse, so it was sunny the whole time. It's probably over here now. There might be a whisker still missing from the side of the sun, but I can't check. So. Sung in that church many times. Many years ago, we used to sing there. We recorded there with the University of Regina Chamber Singers. I wasn't in university, but I sang with the choir. It was kind of it still is, I think, kind of a town and gown choir where you get some people from the community singing it as well as students. We won the CBC Amateur Choir Competition the year that I sang in it, one of the years I sang in it, which was very exciting. Right at the time my dad died, he was a choir director, and I told him, the conductor said he would totally have expected me to sing, even though he would not have expected me to drop out for something like that. Okay, that's it. Here's a nice view of Scarth Street and the federal building there, and Edward Tower and the Twin Towers down the street. The building on the left here, that's the Hotel Saskatchewan. That's where I'm headed right now for lunch. Okay. Thanks for walking with me. Happy Eclipse Day. Bye for now.